What is up, guys? It is your girl Amira, aka the Real Deal Brat, back at it with another video. As you can tell by the title of the video, this is how I found out I was pregnant at 18 with my daughter. I'm now 19 years old. I will be 20 this year. So yeah. But before we get into the story time, go ahead and be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't already, go ahead and press that bell next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I do. Well, whenever we post a video, we post a video, go ahead and be sure to have that bell on so you can be notified. Yeah, all my social media handles is the Real Deal Brat. So go ahead and follow those if you want to get acquainted. I will also have them on the screen. But yeah, let's get into the story time. I could have sworn I recorded this video like so many times. So this is going to be the video that I put out. Yeah. What's today? Sunday? Also, I will be posting videos. I will try to post a video every Sunday. So just like I said, just go ahead and press that bell so you can be notified whenever I do post a video. But let's get into the story time. So I knew she was sleepy. I knew it. I knew she was sleepy. I knew she was sleepy. But anyways, so yeah. So it all started in October of 2019 when I met her father. We started talking to each other, and when we started seeing each other, we were kind of hanging out like every day. We were hanging out every day, almost every day. Like we still did our own thing, but we were kind of hanging out almost every day. So of course, being young, I was being fast. Even though like I was 18, you know, like that's when you consider an adult, I was still being fast, you know. So of course we was having sex, and yeah, we was having sex. At the time, we weren't together, but eventually we moved in together. And when we did move in together, I want to say we moved in together around January. So we started staying together, and around like I want to say the end of February, like March, his mom, which is her father, his mom was like, yeah, I had a dream about fish. You need to take a test, all this stuff. So if you guys don't know, this is kind of like I don't want to kind of say it's a black thing, but I only know like black families to do it. When somebody in the family is pregnant, usually the mother or the grandmother or like just the guardian usually has a dream about fish, and that's how they know that their daughter or like niece, granddaughter, whatever, is pregnant. So in this case, she was telling me like, yeah, you need to take a test. She was telling me and my boyfriend like, you guys need to take a test. I had a dream about fish. But also her auntie, which is her auntie on her dad's side, the mother also told the auntie, was like, yeah, you need to take a test too. Like, it's one of y'all, and one of y'all is pregnant. Like, one of y'all both of y'all need to take a test because one of y'all is pregnant. And then a little bit after that, she turned around and she was like, both of you guys are pregnant. Like, you guys both need to take a test. So me and my boyfriend, we were kind of blowing it off like for the longest. And we was like, nah, we're not gonna take no test. Like, I'm not gonna waste my money on getting a test just for it to come out negative, because I really didn't think I was pregnant. Before I had took tests previously before with him, and they came out negative. So it was like, and no, this pregnancy wasn't planned, but it was not prevented. Okay. And no, in any way I'm not trying to promote teen pregnancy. This is just my story of what happened to me. So once she kept saying like we should take a test and all this stuff, I was like, no, we're just not gonna do that, right? Because I was like 100% sure that I was not pregnant. So a little bit after that, I started feeling kind of bad. Mind you, this was around March, so I was just thinking like, oh my God, I could probably have COVID. Like, I was feeling bad. Like, I just felt sick. Like, I was. I wasn't really well before I had found out I was pregnant. I just felt sick. I just felt nauseous and all this stuff. Usually, when I am sick, like it'll be like I'm never really sick to the point where I'm throwing up or something. It will always be like whenever I got sick, it was like a cold or like something simple like that. It was never nausea. So when I was like feeling that way, I kind of was concerned, like okay, this might be something. But also I was like, okay, I might have COVID. Knowing that the symptoms of COVID was like dry cough, fever, loss of taste, and all that other stuff. I'm not really sure. But I just thought, okay, maybe I could be sick or it could be COVID. It was also around flu season, so I was like, okay, I'm just probably sick. So it was one day, me and my boyfriend went to the store. We had walked to the store, and when we was coming back from the store, I was trying to tell him, like, I do not feel good. The whole way walking back home, I was like, I don't feel good. Like, I just don't feel good. And he was like, come on, like, you know, like, you're all right, all this stuff. So when we came in the house, like, as soon as I stepped foot through the door, I literally, like, rushed to the bathroom and I threw up. When I threw up, it was, like, completely nothing because at the time, I think that day I didn't eat much. So when I threw up, it was nothing. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is just like I need to eat, like something I ate made me sick. Again, I was not thinking that I was pregnant, okay? Like I just didn't believe I was pregnant. Like I was just like, this is just not it. So of course, as time went by, I told my sister, I'm like, I think I might be pregnant, all this stuff. And she told me, she was like, well, if you're pregnant, when you take a test, be sure to take the test in the morning because that's like when your most accurate like pee is. That's like the freshest pee and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. So eventually my boyfriend got the test. When he got the test, like I waited maybe like, after he got the test, I waited maybe like a couple of days. I want to say like maybe almost a week or a couple of days. And, I took it in the morning. So when I took it in the morning, I went to the restroom. I had grabbed one test. The test I had took was like the digital test that pops up, like it says pregnant or not pregnant. So I took that test. I went to the restroom. I used the restroom. I pee on the stick or whatever. I put the stick next to me and I wait for it to load. To me, it went by pretty fast. Like it loaded pretty fast. So when it did, I look over and it says pregnant, and I'm just like, no, like this is not right. Something is wrong. Like I cannot be pregnant. Blah, blah, blah. But it also kind of hit me. Then it was like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. So I took the what happened? So I took the test in the room and I showed her father, and I'm like, what does it say? Like, what does it say? Just to be sure I wasn't tripping, you know, like I wasn't seeing things. So I passed the test to him and he's like, pregnant, like it says pregnant. And I'm like, no way. So I had took the test on Easter of 2020, and that's when I found out I was pregnant. That after I had took that one test, I was like, baby, I gotta take some more tests. I'm just not believing this, right? I'm just not believing this. So yeah, I had like maybe 3 of the other tests that was like 2 lines. These were all clear blue tests I took. I recommend if you do take the pregnancy test to take like first response or clear blue. I took clear blue because I just thought it was like the most accurate test, right? So I grabbed the other test. I went to the restroom. I peed in the cup. This time I peed in the cup, and I had dipped all the tests in a cup, right? And of course they all came back positive, pregnant, positive, whatever. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. Like, what the heck? I'm really pregnant, right? The first time, so just because the test popped up positive, Like, I needed to go to the actual doctors to confirm that I was pregnant. So one night I had went to the emergency room for like something else. I had went to the emergency room, and when I went there, I also had like, when I went to the emergency room, I told them, oh yeah, I might be pregnant, just in case they give me like any x-rays or anything like that. I notified them that I was pregnant. So the guy was like, okay, well, we're gonna give you an ultrasound to see if you're like pregnant or whatever. So I'm like, okay, this is probably at like 2 o'clock in the morning, like in the middle of a week, because I did not feel good at all. Like, I promise you, I did not feel good. I just did not feel good. Like, I just felt weak. I felt sick. Like, I just didn't feel good at all. So when I went to the hospital, they gave me an ultrasound, of course, and I seen her on the ultrasound, and it was like a little itty bitty, probably like, she was like this size in my stomach. And at the time, he was like, oh, well, you're like, it's looking like you're like 13 weeks or so. So I'm like, wow, like, I'm really pregnant. And then, so even then, it was kind of like shocking. It wasn't really hitting me, but I understood that like I was pregnant. Like, I knew I was pregnant, like, you know, but it wasn't like hitting me. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't like it wasn't clicking. Like, I knew I was pregnant, but like, I don't know, like, it just wasn't clicking to me. So yeah, so I had did that, and that ultrasound, they didn't print any pictures or anything like that, because it was in the hospital. It was just like real quick, so they can also see that I was pregnant, so that they wouldn't give me certain medicines, and they wouldn't like do certain procedures because of me being pregnant. At the time, I had lost my job due to COVID, which like sucked so bad. I lost my job due to COVID. I didn't have any medical insurance at all. So for the longest, it took me a very long time to actually go to like an OGBYN. But I did my research. I found a free clinic that does ultrasounds, but you have to be like 16 weeks, like around 16 weeks. So I called them up, and I'm like, I'm pregnant. I really don't know how far along I am. All this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, but I'm pregnant, right? And so they were like, okay, well, we can pull you in or whatever, and we'll give you an ultrasound, but you have to wait till you're like 16 weeks. So they scheduled it out for me like around to be like 16 weeks or whatever. At this point, it was like June when I had actually went to the free clinic. When I went to the free clinic, they showed me my baby, and they were like, okay, well, this is what she looks like. They couldn't tell that she was a girl, but it was like, here's your baby, all this stuff, da, 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 da. They printed me pictures, which I was so glad for. They printed me pictures, and they just confirmed that I was pregnant again. So like at this point, it was like another confirmation that I was pregnant. So it was kind of like not shocking to me at this point, because I was like, I'm pregnant. Like, I felt pregnant. I knew I was pregnant. Like, I had the proof to prove I was pregnant. I had the pictures to prove I was pregnant. So it was no longer all in my head. I was actually pregnant. When it came down to telling people I was pregnant, it was just like, her dad didn't really want to tell anybody. I'm not sure why. He wanted to keep it like between us, I guess. Let us like marinate, let us get to enjoy ourselves for a while. I guess let us like, he wanted to know the gender, all this stuff, how long I was exactly before we started telling people. But me, on the other hand, I wanted to tell the people close to me so that they would know I was pregnant. Like, in case anything happened to me, they knew I was pregnant. I couldn't like let him be the only person that knew, you know what I mean? So the day I had took the test, I told my sister, I sent it to her, and I was like, bro, I'm pregnant, like, what the hell? And she was like, oh my God, congratulations. She gave me the pep talk, like, well, you know, this is a blessing, all this stuff, da, 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 da. Of course, having kids is a blessing. Life itself is a blessing. So yeah, I told her father first. I need to stop saying my boyfriend. I told her father first, And then I told my sister. After that, I had told my mom maybe like a week or 2 weeks later. I told my mom, and I was like, I wasn't gonna tell really anybody. I didn't want to keep it private, but I also had to notify. Like I said, I had to notify people around me in case anything was to happen to me. Then they just to know that I was pregnant, or whatever the case may be. Before I found out I was pregnant, I was drinking and smoking. I was smoking. I was smoking that stuff, that good stuff. You know what I mean? That Mary Jane. So I couldn't do that no more. I couldn't drink. I couldn't do a lot of things. So I had to let people around me know. So I call my mom and I'm like, Mom, before I tell his mom, I'm like, I want to tell you that I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant, all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, okay. Like, because my sister had already told my mom, or she like hinted at it, I guess. Which, like, in black families, you can never tell your own business. You can never tell your own business because somebody else is gonna tell it for you. But I didn't have an issue with it because it was like it's the truth, you know. If it was a lie, then it would have been like I would have been like upset about it, but it was the truth, so I wasn't too much like bothered by it. So my mom, when she found out, her reaction wasn't like what I was expecting, but she didn't do too much because at the time I was 18. I didn't live with my mom. I took care of myself, like you know. So she was just like, okay, well, you're pregnant, so you know what that comes with. You have to, of course, take care of your baby, make a plan, keep God first, all this stuff, just pray, stay healthy, like all this stuff. And I was like, okay, and that was it. And then I went to go tell his mom, because I told his mom and his sister at the same time, because his mom was already assuming. I had just walked in there with like the test and I think like a paper confirming like my pregnancy. So I walked in there in the living room and I was like, I need to tell y'all something. And they was like, what, you're pregnant? And I was like, yep, I'm pregnant. And then I had showed them the test, and they were just kind of like, oh, well, we already knew that, blah, blah, blah. Her auntie was also pregnant at the same time. We were pregnant. We're like a week apart. So she has a cousin who was 5 days apart. She was the what's it called? She came on the 13th, and her cousin came on the 18th of November. So yeah. So when I had told the mom and the sister, I was like, I'm pregnant. They were like, oh, well, we knew that. Like, we assumed that, all this stuff. So really nobody's reaction was like shocking, I guess you could say. Nobody really did too much, like nobody really like did too much what are you gonna do, or like nobody was really negative with it, because I think it was because like I'm 18, because I've been taking care of myself. I'm not sure. I really wasn't expecting anybody. To just go crazy and like, you know, be like, wow, like how could you, or anything like that, or what do you do, or you're too young and all this stuff. Like nobody really did anything like that. Eventually, everybody else found out because somebody told them. My grandparents found out because my little sister told them. My dad found out through me. I texted my dad on Father's Day, and I told my dad, I sent my dad a picture, and I said the best fathers become grandfathers. You know, I tried to slide that in there because I feel like like, you know, you're like daddy's little angel. Out of everybody, I was kind of scared to tell my dad, I'm not gonna lie. I was scared to tell my dad, so I had to kind of slide that in there, like, "Ooh, happy Father's Day! Also, you're you're having another grandchild." So I kind of threw that in there, and he was like, "Well, thank you, but you know, we're gonna have to talk." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Like, so yeah, that's kind of how everybody found out. How I found out. But yeah, here's my baby girl now. Her name is Anila Ray Lynn. She was born November 13th. And don't come for me because I really don't know. I think it was like around 11 o'clock. I think it was around like 11 o'clock. I would give y'all my labor and delivery story time. That would probably be my next video, but I don't know this stuff on the top of my head, like what time she came on to. I know she was like 5 pounds and like 15, 16 ounces. I had to get induced, but yeah, I will go into that later on in a different video. So if y'all want that video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, comment, leave a comment. It don't matter what you say. You can comment a question. You can comment comment anything really, but be sure to like, and be sure to share, and be sure to press that bell so you can be notified. Okay. But yeah, this is how I found out I was pregnant. I am now 19. I will be 20 in May. And yeah, this is my first child, my first pregnancy, everything. I can kind of, this is just how I found out I was pregnant. So if y'all want like my pregnancy story, like what I went through when I was pregnant, the symptoms, be sure to comment that. Like, I really want to give y'all videos that y'all want to watch. I want to know what y'all are interested in. I feel like I'm kind of boring, but I'm not really boring. I'm a little interesting. So yeah, just be sure to comment, and I'm open to anything. So whatever y'all want to see, give me feedback. Also, I will be doing a pregnancy Q&A slash like just like a pregnancy Q&A. So I already have a couple questions because I had already asked. But if y'all want to know anything, go ahead and DM it to me. I'll do a poll again on Instagram where y'all can just send me questions and I'll answer them. But yeah, that's how I found out I was pregnant at 18. I'm happy now. Like, I love my daughter. She's so pretty. She's so brown. I don't want to wake her up, but okay. I'm not gonna. Look, she frowning. She don't like that. She knocked out. She was just up. Ooh. I'm sorry, sister girl. But yeah. What you gotta say? Huh? What is she doing? You know what? I know what. But yeah, ooh, this piece of hair.